Hello. Today is Maundy Thursday, the day on which we remember the Last Supper, what's known as the Last Supper, the institution of the most amazing remembrance service of communion, very precious to our faith, and the scene of all the wonderful instructions that Jesus gave that are recorded in John 13 through to 17. So much we could talk about. But my focus this morning has been on the amazing example that Jesus set for his disciples when he washed their feet. Now, a chapter earlier in John, we have recorded the incident when Mary, the sister of Lazarus, anointed the feet of Jesus while he was at supper and put very expensive ointment on his feet and dried his feet with her hair. And somehow that seems appropriate. He is Lord of all. Why shouldn't his servant, one who loved him and sat at his feet to hear his words, should anoint his feet? But when it comes to this incident, which is recorded in John 13, to see the Lord and Master get up from table, take off his garments and gird himself with a towel around his waist and kneel in front of his disciples and wash their feet, all 12 of them. It's an astonishing thing. He is Lord. He is Master. He is the leader. And they are shocked. And Peter doesn't want Jesus to do this. He's horrified that this amazing preacher, miracle worker, Lord, who he's followed for 3.5 years, should be on his knees in front of him, washing his feet. He tries to stop Jesus doing it, but gives in when Jesus said, if you don't let me, you're not in. You can't be with me. Why did Jesus do this? If you can use your imagination today, picture the scene. Picture it. Perhaps you've been to a Maundy Thursday service where a token washing of feet is done. I know when I served as lead chaplain in the hospital where I worked for many years, every Maundy Thursday we would have a service, and I would do a symbolic washing of feet. I would have a bowl and a towel, and I would kneel in front of each one of the people who worked with me and worked for me. My set of volunteers who visited in the hospital for chaplaincy, my secretary, the people who I had authority over. I would take a bowl and pour water on one of the feet of each of them. It was symbolic, but it was very hard to do. Very hard to do. Because it involved getting down below their sight line as they sat and touching their feet. We don't very often touch each other's feet. It's very strange. And there was always one who said, no, you can't do that. You can pour water on my hand instead. And it's not the same. It's very profound. All I can tell you is it's very profound. I did it specifically and dried their feet with the towel. I did it specifically because it reminded me that the only way to lead a successful team of Christians was to serve them. And that's what Jesus was teaching his disciples, that you had to be a servant of all to lead, to be a leader. And it's a hard lesson to learn. We're not meant to have a hierarchy like the world's hierarchy. The top person is meant to be the servant of all. And Jesus told his disciples, I have set you an example. A servant is not greater than his master. If I have done this to you, you should do this to each other. So we should be seeking out ways to serve those who lead us, to serve those who we lead, to serve all. We should be looking for opportunities. And I remember distinctly an incident that happened long time ago. And I was at a big meeting of church dignitaries, and there were a lot of people there. And it was held in the Bishop's Palace in, I think it was Dorchester or somewhere. Winchester, it was Winchester, in the south of England. And it was in the Bishop's Palace, and there were a lot of people there, other church dignitaries, and it was on the invitation of the bishop. And most of the time bishops go around with, when they're at engagements, they go around with purple. Oh, I've got purple on, almost a bishop's colour on. I didn't intend that. But, so you could tell who the bishops were. I didn't know this particular bishop. I was invited from the church where I was part of the congregation. And we were just mingling and chatting over drinks, as you do, And the person I was talking to suddenly stopped mid-sentence and turned to the person who was offering us something, a little tidbit to eat. He turned to this person, he said, "Bishop, let me do that." And the bishop was there, not dressed as a bishop. The Bishop of Winchester was there, not dressed as a bishop, didn't look like a bishop, didn't have his big cross round his neck or anything, or a dog collar or anything. And he was going round serving his guests. And this guest was horrified that this very important man was serving all these ordinary people. And the bishop said, "If you think it's strange that I should be serving you, you don't understand what my role is in the church. My role is to serve the church and enable people to reach their full potential." He had a servant heart, like Jesus did. And that's what Jesus asks us to have as we live to serve him, to have a servant heart, looking for opportunities to serve others, not standing on dignity or on our position and letting others serve us, but looking for opportunities to be of service in sometimes the humblest of ways. My time is up. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.